How the British expedition to Tibet was mistaken from the beginning. The British expedition to Tibet was a failed attempt to bring back the Buddhist scriptures. The British government sent two expeditions, one in 1856 and another in 1874. The first expedition had no luck, but the second one managed to bring back a few scriptures from the Tibetan capital of Lhasa. The British government thought that they had finally accomplished their mission and that Tibet would be open for trade with Britain. However, things went as they always do. They were wrong about their assumptions and they had to return home without any success at all. The British government thought that they had finally accomplished their mission. And they were now able to bring back the Buddhist scriptures and therefore have a stronger impact on the British people. However, when they returned home and showed their new treasures to their fellow countrymen, the British people's response was very anticlimactic. The British public did not take interest in Buddhism and its religious texts because it had been so well integrated into their way of life. The British people's response to the new arrivals from India was also limited because Buddhism was not a religion which had been forced onto them. They were not forced to adopt Buddhism, nor were any other religions. One British institution which did take an interest in Buddhism was the Royal Asiatic Society. The Royal Asiatic Society was a society created by Prince Albert and Queen Victoria to encourage the study of Asian culture, due to the importance of the civilization of India and China. In 1871, the society began to publish its journal, Journal of the Royal Asiatic Society, which was edited by Edward Thomas. The journal did not regularly publish articles on Buddhism, so it is difficult to say exactly how many articles were published in this period. If a large number of articles were published on Buddhism, then it could indicate that the journal was a major source of Buddhist writings in the late 19th century. In 1872, the Journal of the Royal Asiatic Society published an article by Edward Thomas entitled Buddha and Buddhism. The article states that Buddha was born in India and studied literature at the University of Uruvaypadna. Buddhism is said to have originated in the 6th century BC. The 1906 Journal of the Royal Asiatic Society has an article entitled The Influence of Buddhist Ideas on Latin Thought. The author, H. Wilson, states that before about 550 BC, Buddhism did not exert any very profound influence on India, but on the time of Kanishka, Buddhism was well established. Buddhism is said to have been founded in 6th century BC by Buddha, who lived in northwestern India. At some point after the 5th century BC, a legend arose which claimed that an Indian holy man, Siddhartha Gautama, had achieved enlightenment and become known as Buddha. Because of this legend, it is believed that Buddhism was founded in India. What were the major outcomes of the British expedition to Tibet? In 1903, the British expedition to Tibet was led by Francis Younghusband and included 2 other British soldiers. Their goal was to open trade routes with Tibet and establish a permanent British presence in the region and gain control over Lhasa. The British expedition to Tibet, what did they promise and what did they deliver? The British expedition to Tibet was a diplomatic mission from the United Kingdom to Tibet. It was led by the British explorer and diplomat George Everest, who had been appointed as the first British envoy to Tibet by the Governor-General of India, Lord Dalhousie, in 1847. The British expedition to Tibet promised that they would bring democracy and modernity to China's western frontier. However, they only delivered what they promised when it came to modernization. They could not bring democracy because of their limited influence in Tibet and also because China didn't want it at that time. The British expedition was a diplomatic mission whose purpose was primarily cultural rather than political or military. They were meant to establish trade relations with Tibetan leaders and spread knowledge about Western civilization such as science, technology, social customs, and more. The British expedition was led by a Tibetan official named Losong Tsering and consisted of 5 officials, 6 soldiers, 2 engineers, and 1 photographer. It is estimated that the expedition cost £75 per day, which translates to about $1,250 per day in 2005. The expedition was successful in their objectives, though they were limited by their lack of military and natural resources. As of 2006, the expedition has been extended to 6 scientists and an entrepreneur who will be included in the first ever business meeting between China and Tibet, as well as exploring more sites in Tibet. The British expedition also became a global pioneer for creating a new model for increased cooperation between business and government. The Tibetan government took advantage of the opportunity to improve its relationships with the international community, and it will try to minimize the negative impacts of the environment on society. The chairman of the Tibetan government said, "The relationship between China and Tibet is no longer only a bilateral relationship, and it has to be a multilateral relationship, which includes the international community." Liu Kuai also emphasized that under the leadership of Xi Jinping, China has shown its willingness to improve its ties with other countries. Tibetan officials see their country as a bridge for China and other countries in order for both parties to understand different cultures better. Liu Kuai said, "We are not saying that China and Tibet should not have conflicts, but we hope that the two countries can find a way to improve their relationship." Liu Kuai, chairman of the Tibetan People's Regional Government, said that disagreements in Tibet should be solved by dialogue. China is a big country. If we cannot find compromises, then China will definitely not do that. Tibet has been an accomplished society where its people have not only saved their own culture, but have also contributed a lot to the Chinese culture. Rongzhen chief monk said that Tibet is the source of mutual benefit. He also said that China could learn Tibetan Buddhism and it could also be a help for China. "After China takes over Tibet, I am afraid it will be difficult for the Tibetan people to survive," he said. "Since the Tibetan people have been very open, they have learned and studied a lot of different cultures in different ways, and they have also contributed a good deal," he said. Here is a list of famous Tibetans. 1. Sakyamuni. 2. Jamyang Gyatso. 3. Padmasambhava. 4. Dalai Lama. 5. Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo. 6. Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche. 7. Tenzin Gyatso. 8. Taklung Tangwang. 9. Taklung Rigdrol. Thank you for watching The Secrets of the End of British Expedition to Tibet, and don't to subscribe to my channel, please.